Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely. Always ready to explore.
Awesome. So today we're heading into the Arizona desert.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite places. The landscape, the wildlife, it's all incredible.
Absolutely. And speaking of wildlife, we're going to get up close and personal with the true desert icon,
You mean?
the one and only Javelina.
Love those guys.
Me too, they're fascinating. And I think a lot of folks out there might have some misconceptions about them, mistaking them for something else.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. The whole wild pig thing.
Exactly. So we're going to clear that up right off the bat and dive into all the amazing things that make javelinas so unique.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so picture this. You're hiking through the Arizona desert, sun beating down, you're surrounded by saguaros, and then you spot a group of these, let's be honest, kind of funny-looking animals, stocky, bristly, kind of like a pig had a baby with a porcupine.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they've got a unique look for sure.
They do. But before anyone jumps to conclusions, let's set the record straight. What exactly is a javelina? Because it's not a wild pig, right?
Right. And that's probably the biggest misconception out there. Javelinas are actually peccaries. It's a completely different family of animals, more closely related to things like, well, other peccary species, surprisingly enough, like the chaco and peccary down in South America. Really shows how diverse and widespread they are.
Wow, okay. So peccaries, not pigs. Got it. But for those of us who might not be familiar with peccaries in general, can you give us a quick Javelina 101? What are their defining features?
Well, as you said, they're stocky, usually weighing in at around 40 to 60 pounds.
Yeah, they're not tiny.
Nope. And they've got that coarse, grayish-brown fur that blends right into the desert landscape. But the real giveaway is that collar of lighter fur around their shoulders.
Hence the name collared peccary.
Exactly. And of course, let's not forget those teeth.
Yeah, those teeth are something else. Seriously impressive chompers. So are those mainly for defense, or do they have another purpose?
I mean, they can definitely defend themselves if they need to, but those teeth are really all about their diet. They've got to be tough to survive in the desert. Think prickly pear cactus, seeds, roots. Tough stuff.
Makes sense. They need some heavy-duty tools for that kind of food. So speaking of the desert, where exactly do we find these prickly pear munchers? What's their ideal habitat?
Well, you're not going to find them chilling in a pine forest, that's for sure. They stick to those areas with plenty of desert scrub, cactus forests, and of course, access to water. It's all about finding that balance between food, shelter, and avoiding the scorching Arizona sun.
Which is why you mostly see them at dawn and dusk, right?
Bingo. When it's a bit cooler. Smart strategy.
Definitely. Speaking of strategy, javelinas have this unique way of communicating.
Oh, you mean the smell?
That's the one. It's
Yeah.
pretty notorious.
Right.
So tell us more about that. What's the deal with that powerful aroma?
Well, first off, javelinas are really social animals. They live in these family groups called sounders, usually around 6 to 10 individuals.
Oh, wow. So they're not loners.
Not at all. They're actually quite close-knit. And that scent marking, as strong as it is, plays a huge role in their social structure.
So it's more than just a javelina was here sign.
Much more. Think of it like a chemical bulletin board. It announces their presence, their breeding status, even their individual identity. It's all about keeping the sounder connected.
Wow, that's amazing. So how does that incredible sense of smell play into their foraging habits? I mean, can they sniff out a prickly pear patch from miles away? And what else are they eating besides those cactuses?
Well, they're opportunistic omnivores, so their diet's pretty diverse. Prickly pear is a staple, definitely. But they also go for seeds, fruits, roots, and even insects or carrion if they get the chance. They're like the ultimate desert scavengers.
And that plays a role in the ecosystem too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They're helping to break down organic matter, keeping things in balance.
Makes sense. And what about their impact on the plants themselves? Do they play a part in, say, seed dispersal with all those prickly pear feasts?
Definitely. They're basically little gardeners moving through the desert, eating and, well, excreting seeds, and that helps to spread and grow various plant species, contributing to the diversity of the ecosystem.
Okay, so that's their diet and their social life. Now let's talk about those baby javelinas. When are they born, and what's life like for a young javelina in the sounder?
Well, you can actually find baby javelinas popping up throughout the year.
Really? No specific breeding season?
Nope. They're pretty adaptable. The litters are usually just 1 or 2 offspring, born after about a 5-month gestation period. And those little guys hit the ground running, literally. Within days, they're already following mom and exploring.
Ah, that's adorable.
It is. And here's the best part. The whole sounder pitches in to raise and protect the young ones. Talk about teamwork.
Wow, I never realized they were so cooperative.
Yeah.
That really changes the whole solitary desert creature image. But unfortunately, it's not always a peaceful coexistence, especially when humans are involved. Have you seen any situations where those interactions, get a little tricky?
Yeah, sadly it does happen. As we keep expanding into javelina habitats, conflicts are bound to arise. They're generally shy and peaceful animals, but if they feel cornered or threatened, let's just say a mother javelina protecting her young is not something you want to mess with.
Makes sense. And I imagine their foraging habits can sometimes get them into trouble with humans too, right?
Oh, definitely. Think about it. A javelina following its nose to a delicious buffet of fruits and veggies in someone's garden. Or maybe a tempting overflowing trash can. It's bound to cause some friction.
So what's the key to a more harmonious relationship between humans and javelinas? How can we avoid those conflicts?
I think it comes down to knowledge and respect. We need to understand their behavior, their needs, and their crucial role in the ecosystem. By appreciating these creatures and taking simple steps to avoid conflict, securing those trash cans, respecting their space, we can coexist peacefully.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. The javelina, a creature that's way more complex and fascinating than meets the eye. They're not just those prickly pear-loving desert dwellers. They're crucial members of the ecosystem, masters of communication, and incredibly cooperative parents. But here's a final thought to ponder. As our world continues to change and we keep encroaching on their habitat, what does the future hold for these resilient creatures? It's something to think about as we navigate our shared space in the Arizona desert. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.